Okay, I'll go ahead and get us started. We are recording, so just a reminder to keep your cameras off. Otherwise, everyone and their mother will see you on the internet. Um, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to start with just kind of a general overview of the summit, and then we'll move into some Q&A. If while I'm doing the presentation, if you have some questions already, if you want to go ahead and put that in the chat, I can address those first up after we go over the kind of the overview. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. Hopefully, by the end of our meeting today, we'll have all of your questions answered. And of course, while you're putting in your proposals, if you have another question that comes up, please feel free to email me. Just a couple highlights about this year's conference. We are going to be in San Antonio at the Whitley Center on December 9th through 11th. We usually have about 300 attendees, and it's a mix of various backgrounds: public health, education, landscape architects, nature centers, cities, all sorts of things. And we'll have both indoor and outdoor options for your sessions. The concurrent sessions are an hour long, and that's the only option available. We have 5 different strands this year. We'll have health and nature, green schoolyards and education, early childhood education, outdoor learning environments, community engagement and partnerships, nature smart libraries, and green space access and activation. Now, your session can have a couple of different strands. You don't have to just be in one. So if you feel like if it's maybe both in health and green space activation, that is totally possible for you to pick both. And the vast majority of the sessions will be on Thursday, December 10th. We will have a couple that are on that Friday morning, December 11th. There will be no concurrent sessions on December 9th. And then, as I said, there's indoor or outdoor sessions. You can also have a hybrid session, kind of going back and forth between the two. This year, we just have one layout style available because of some rules at the conference center. They won't allow us to move any tables or chairs. So you will only have classroom style as your option for how your room is set up. In each room, there'll be a projector and a screen, a tablet, and an easel. Some rooms have microphones. Not all of them do, and there are no microphones for any of the outdoor sessions. Presenters will need to provide their own laptop. And then we do also offer poster sessions. This is an opportunity if you want to present a poster like you see this young man doing here. And we have both professional categories and then a student category as well. So that's kind of our general overview of the sessions. And I am happy to take any questions that any of you might have. And feel free to take yourselves off mute for the questions. There aren't any in the chat.
Hey Sarah, it's Jill.
Yeah.
Hi. Sorry, I hopped on a little bit late. So I guess my main question, I might have missed this. I want to probably present on parks prescription related, and I have a lot of things going on right now, so I don't know exactly what specifically my topic would be, but I feel like there's going to be. I- So do I need to know exactly when I submit something? Like if there's, I'm working with a lot of different organizations and people right now, and it's just we're in a flux, or should I just not submit if I don't know, you
So
know?
you'll need to have a title, a short description, a long description, the list of your co-presenters,
Hmm.
um, your outcomes, and how you will engage the attendees as part of the submission process.
Okay. All by June 15th, is that right?
15th, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that's sort of what I was wondering because there's so much happening right now and we're just sort of seeing. So I probably wouldn't know all that by then. So that was basically what I wanted to know.
Yeah, yeah. And very, very unlikely that there'll be an extension. We have to get, because of the holiday, so I have to get all of the programming committee all this information by the last week of June so that they can have 2 weeks to go over proposals. Then we can meet as a committee the last 2 weeks of July and then let everyone know by the end of July if their session was accepted. So because of that timeline, we really don't have the ability to extend the RFP at all.
No, no, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Somebody else has a similar question. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could always, yeah. uh, People keep forwarding, you should submit something. And I'm like, I know, I probably should, but I'm like in that limbo place. I feel like,
Mhm.
so. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you
Someone asked
for
about
that.
posters. Posters are not due until October 1st.
That's cool.
Yeah. Slides, when I share out the recording, the email, I'll send everyone who registered the link with the recording. I'll also send the slides with the recording.
Hi, Sarah. This is Chiwei.
Yeah.
I was curious if indoor and outdoor sessions happen concurrently, or is there a time slot where everyone is just outdoors?
On Thursday and Friday, they are happening concurrently.
Okay. The reason I ask is because historically, have you seen indoor sessions have more attendees or outdoors, or it kind of varies?
It varies depending on the session.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Yeah, I see the question about what kinds of presentations have been done in the past. Last year's program is on our website, so you can see all of last year's sessions.
And Sarah, could you speak more about, this is Jerry, could you speak more about the posters and what the advantage is for the posters?
The advantage for the posters is it's not during a concurrent session time. Everyone's doing poster sessions at that time, so you'll probably see most of the people that are at the conference. I mean, there are people who don't go to poster sessions, so you won't see everyone. But and then you are not slotted for an hour. You're literally just standing in front of your poster, and as people are moving around, you're having one-on-one conversations about your poster versus doing a full session, like a
Are
concurrent.
there any like do's and don'ts, especially I guess the don'ts for posters?
You literally only have an easel, so you can't have a bunch of stuff.
Well, I guess what I'm also asking, like, is it inappropriate if I wanted to show off my curriculum that focuses on outdoor learning, is that something that
That's
I could?
totally fine. Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah.
Thank you.
It doesn't need to be peer reviewed research. Yeah, so yeah, you can definitely show off your curriculum, etc.
And I'm sorry, one follow-up. Did you
Yeah.
say you can do both posters and submit?
You can. Yeah,
Okay.
if you want to do both, if you really want to be an overachiever and do both, you can.
Okay.
I will say for concurrent sessions, it's very rare. It's not unheard of, but it's rare for someone to be picked twice for a concurrent session. So if you're thinking about two concurrent sessions, I would recommend putting in your stronger proposal. Now, if you can't choose between the two and you want to put both in, that's totally fine. Usually what happens is the programming committee will choose one of the two.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Audience, it is a pretty big mix of educators, public health, architects, city folks. It's a pretty broad range in terms of the audience of who is attending. Does that answer your question, Lucy? Okay. Arlene, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. Do you, if you get a lot of proposals that sort of, link up or have elements in common, do you ever like combine
We
or
have in
start
the
a panel
past.
discussion or something like that?
Yeah, in the past, for instance, we got two sessions from two different entities that were pretty much the same. It just happenstance happened to be that way. So one of the reasons we have the 2 week time frame that the programming committee is meeting is one of the things we do is after a first review, we go back with questions. So if there's a question from y'all's proposals that they have, they want a little more clarity about, you might get an email from me that says, Arlene, they have a question about XYZ, and then I bring it back. But also, if in this case where we had two that were pretty much the same, I emailed both entities and I was like, well, congratulations. Both of you are on the same wavelength. You're doing the same thing. Would you mind co-presenting? And so that is possible. It hasn't happened a ton, but it can happen.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? Y'all are going to keep this real short and sweet. As I said, you can find the last year's program is up on our website. So go ahead, feel free to go ahead and look at that if you're looking for some ideas. I will be sending the slides with the email, the recording. Lucy, I see your questions. The topic ideas, that wasn't idea topics, those are the strands. So we have 5 different strands that sessions can fall into. So again, those are health and nature, green schoolyards and education, early childhood, outdoor learning environments, nature smart libraries, green space activation and health. Did I say health and nature? I may have said health and nature already. So those are the strands. And then the sessions are an hour long. And yeah, hopefully that answers all your questions. Anyone else?
I have one
Yeah,
more.
of course.
Typically, are these very complex? I mean, do you have a recommendation about how deep into the weeds you should go in your presentation?
You mean like on the proposals?
Well, yeah, I guess on the
Okay.
proposals.
Yeah, so we have both the short and the long description. Short description, I think the word count is 100 words, if I'm remembering correctly right off the top of my head. And then you definitely can go much more in depth in your long description. The programming committee really does pay attention to the outcomes. So I would recommend really putting some thought into the outcome question on your proposals. They want to make sure, mainly, one of the biggest things they want to make sure of is that it's less of a look at this cool thing I do. Isn't this amazing? And more of a look at this really cool thing that you also can do or you can learn from. They want to make sure that the folks that are attending the session really come away with an understanding of how they could replicate, do the same thing, learn from what you are doing. So those are some of the big things. In terms of in-depth at sessions, I would say folks really love research. They really like to get the facts and so on that are going with the program. So I would say if you can go more in depth, I think that would be well received.
Okay. And is this session being recorded?
Yes, I am recording right now. Yes.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
you're welcome. And as I said, if you are like me and it is June 14th and you are filling out the proposal and you have questions, please feel free to email.
And is there like a form or something?
Yes, yes. So the RFP form is up on our website. There's a big button that says submit your session proposals that'll take you to a Google form. And then on that Google form, there's also a PDF of all the questions. So if you are also like me, you like to have the questions kind of in front of you while you are contemplating before you're actually in the proposal form, you can download that and have that as well.
Okay.
And that's also really helpful for those of you that are doing a combo proposal. You all can kind of look at the questions together that way as well.
Thanks.
Anyone else?
Hi, Sarah. This is Alan Williams.
Alan?
I would love to help co-present with anybody else in any other districts that's really wanting to highlight how to engage either through curriculum, for whatever persuasive traits that nature has, but who is succeeding at really getting teachers bringing kids outdoors throughout the school year on their school campuses and learning in the outdoor setting. I was just at a meeting with Colleen Hook, and they had their 7 groundbreakings for the schoolyard forest, McAllen ISD, last week. And we're asking these exact same things. How do we make sure that these big investments have the engagement and the long-term commitment and understanding and desire for teachers to be taking students outside in these spaces? And I would rather not present a proposal myself on what we're doing down here, but I would love to reinforce and collaborate with anybody else that's, thinks that they've got a good system that is working, that teachers and principals are recognizing the value in getting students outside on routine basis.
So if I'm understanding your correctly, because I mean, I'm kind of keeping up with the session proposals, but most people don't turn them in until the day they're due. So I don't necessarily know who's proposing things. I mean, we've got a handful right now, but like for instance, I have 9 right now. We usually end up with a 75 to 100. So I mean, there's still a lot that hasn't come in yet. So I can't necessarily match make ahead of time. What I would recommend doing is reaching out to probably a lot of the same folks you're working with for the Outdoor Learning Conference, Amalia,
Yes.
Colleen, those
Amanda.
Tessa, yeah.
Yeah, Jess, yeah, okay. Very good, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? One thing that I just thought of, because I just said we usually get about 75 to 100 proposals, we also usually accept 30 to 35, just to kind of give you an idea of kind of ratio there for y'all. Okay. Well, seeing no more questions. Oh, I see, Arlene, you're coming on camera again. You've got plenty of time.
One last is, the date we have to submit the proposals, and then do we have to like physically get you whatever we're using by a certain date, or do we just show up at the?
Yeah, so you just show up. So the proposals are due on June 15th. They're all due electronically. There's no attachments or anything that you need to do in there. So you don't need to worry about that. For at the conference, presenters need to provide their own laptop, which we're assuming would have your presentation on it. We will have a projector and a screen in each of the rooms. Outdoor sessions won't have any screens, projectors, etc. You are outside. So, but, and then any materials that you would want to provide. We are in conversations with conference app folks right now. We don't know who we're going with. There is a possibility you may be able to upload files into the conference app, but we don't know exactly which app we're going with yet.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And I would say in terms of materials, I think all the rooms probably top out at 45 or 50 people. And if you see, Arlene, you're reminding me of all these different things that I can tell people. So questions are good. If you are doing a session, and so every session will have a volunteer that is assigned to each room that is there to be your helper. And so if you're doing a session and let's say you only brought materials for 30 or 35, you can ask that helper to kind of shut off early the room. That's one of the jobs the room monitor will have, is closing the room when the room is full. So if you want to be like, for this session, I really don't want to have more than 35 people. It just won't make this session work well. If I have more than 35, you can tell your volunteer and they'll close the room for you.
And what do you mean by materials?
So for instance, last year we had a session where someone was doing an art project as part of their session. And so they had all the materials for the art project. And so they cut it off as a certain number just so that everyone would have enough materials to do the activity.
Cool.
No. There's a wide range of things that you're going to see at this conference. So
Okay, sounds good.
yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
Sarah, sorry if I missed this. Do you happen to know roughly when we would be notified if the proposal is accepted or not?
Yes, everyone will find out on or before July 31st. I feel very strongly that you will know if your session was accepted before registration begins.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
And kind of a follow-up to the previous question about the indoor-outdoor. I feel like the indoor capacity would be a larger number of people. So do you feel like there might be an advantage in terms of reach and audience to be indoors, even if it's more of a usual outdoor activity? Because outdoors, it's hard to bring a larger group along if it's an experiential thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, you would probably get more people if you were indoors in terms of how the space can accommodate. I would say though, I wouldn't let that deter you from doing an outdoor session. We are a pretty hardy crew. And if folks want to be outside, they're going to be outside. For instance, last year we had a whittling workshop and it was literally freezing rain. And we had 40 people go outside to go to the whittling workshop. So I think that you could probably end up still with a pretty good size group outside.
Got it. That's helpful. Thank you.
Okay. Last chance. Okay. Again, feel free to email me if you come up with more questions. There is no question too weird. Last year I was asked if someone could bring a spider. So really no question is too weird. And y'all have a fantastic rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you.